Okay. All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is the City of Joliet Pre-Council meeting here on August 1st, 2022, with Mayor Bob Odekirk presiding. Roll call, please.
Mayor Odekirk,
Here.
Councilman Quillman,
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Here.
Councilman Guerrero,
Here.
Councilman Hud, Councilman Morris,
Here.
Councilman Mudrin,
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First on the agenda is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item? Seeing none, we'll have the city manager review tomorrow's agenda items.
Good evening. First up is the position vacancy, which is the item 385-22, which is the administration for EMA coordinator, counseling facility director. And this particular position is already in the fire department, but we are going to expand the role, move it out of there, and what it does is it provides us a training coordinator for the police, fire department, and 911 center. As we work with Joliet Junior College, we're trying to set up not only for the city of Joliet, but a regional training center. We've had trouble getting classes for police officers in various training academies, which has also hamstrung our ability to add people. We'd like to add a shooting range, a complete training center, fire department training facility, police training facility, and all that entails with that, from shoot houses to hook and ladders, maybe a submerged car. We currently have some property that North Point has granted us, and we would like to take advantage of that. My understanding was that at one point we had Centerpoint give us some property, and then we wound up selling that back during financial difficulties at some point. But I believe it's great. It's not only going to be at one point for City of Joliet, but we'll hopefully make this a regional solution. Additionally, 50% of this funding will come from the federal government under grants. So the position only will cost us 50% of what you would normally think it would be. It's going to be great. We'll be able to take advantage of grants from Homeland Defense, and various government agencies to be able to take care of this. This is something that DuPage County has. We're trying to kind of emulate some of that. So I believe it's a great way to go forward. Next is 386-22, award a contract renewal for the community notification system in Will County 911 system in the amount of $31,125. Next item, 387-22, award a contract to Heartland Business Systems for VWare licensing in the amount of $86,544.80. And this is our virtual service server infrastructure. Next is 388-22, professional services agreement by the 2022 pre-treatment program assistance to Baxter and Woodman in the amount of $110,000. Agenda item 389-22, professional services agreement for the 2023 sanitary sewer rehabilitation program to RJN Group in the amount of $74,990. Agenda item 390-22, amendment number 1 for the 2022 sanitary sewer investigation and rehabilitation program professional services agreement to RJN Group in the amount of $39,285. Agenda item 391-22, change order number 2 in the amount of $35,825.97 for the 2020 electrical maintenance assistance contract to Van Mack Electric, and payment request number 12 and final in the amount of $70,032.93. Agenda item 392-22, change order 7 in the amount of $699,403.03 and final payout in the amount of $765,710.58 for the 2020 sanitary sewer rehabilitation program, Performance Pipelining Incorporated. Agenda item 393-22, change order number 1 in the amount of $690 in the final payout in the amount of $4,154 for the Fairmount and Garvin Sanitary Improvement Project, Performance Construction and Engineering. Item 394-22, change order number 1 in the amount of $47,000 for managed print services to Wayland Offices Solutions. Agenda item 395-22, approved payment in the amount of payment of the 2022 water discharge NPDES permit fees in the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency in the amount of $152,500. Next is agenda item 397-22, award a contract for the 2022 roadways resurfacing east contract to Austin Tyler Construction, the amount of $2,523,297.72. Next, agenda item 398-22, award a contract for the 2022 roadways resurfacing west contract to Austin Tyler Construction, the amount of $2,480,853.73. Agenda item 399-22, award a contract for the 2022 roadway arterial resurfacing contract to PT Farrell Construction in the amount of $2,340,535.07. Next is agenda item 401-22, ordinance approving special use permit to allow B3 businesses to use for a pole vaulting training facility in an I2 general industrial zoning district. This is a company that trains pole vaulters, and they have outgrown the facility here, and I believe it's Romeoville, and they're wishing to move to Joliet. So this is a pretty good deal. Next is item 402-22, ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $105 million general obligation bonds, Series 2022, for the city of Joliet, Will, and Kendall counties, Illinois, in one or more series, and providing for the levy and collection of a direct annual tax sufficient for the payments and principals of interest bonds. And this is for the Rock Run Crossing project, which we had voted on earlier, the council had.
Yes. Jim Ghedotte, if that's where the information needs to come from, I don't see what companies we're going to issue through. I know that we have 5 or 6 bonding agencies that we issue through. Which ones are going to be doing this?
Oh, I know that there is one, Jim, but I don't know.
You know what I'm referring to, right, Jim?
Currently, in the redevelopment agreement, I believe you're asking about the underwriter. The underwriter is Stifel, as in the redevelopment agreement. We have been in contact, Spear Financial is our advisor with the Cullinan people, and have suggested maybe we can add a managing, another underwriter, and they have agreed to it, depending on the size of the issue, and but Stifel will be the managing underwriter.
Well, have we worked with them before?
We have not, no.
Because I think the last bond that I recall that we issued, and I try to keep track of these things, I'm a penny pincher, was the $10.5 million bond, which was a combination, $7 million for the vehicle purchases and $3.5 million that we were to be reimbursed for the library, right? And we have 5 underwriters on that, on a $10.5 million. Well, why do we only have one on a $105 million?
That's in the redevelopment agreement, and they will be our managing underwriter, but we are gonna look to add more underwriters, and we will come back to council once we discuss that with the developers and our advisors. We are meeting almost on a weekly basis now. We're coming close to issuance, so we are gonna recommend adding some advisors. I know for the alternative water source, we use J.P. Morgan. That turned out very well. So once we meet with the developers and decide on a second, maybe even a third underwriter, then we will come back to council.
What's the name of the company? Stifel?
Stifel.
Why did we choose them if we've not had a relation? Why did we choose them up front?
It was,
That was in the redevelopment agreement.
But why did we choose them and put them in there?
I don't have an answer to that. It was in the agreement, so.
Right, but was that your advice to go that route as the CFO?
I didn't see the development agreement before it was presented to you.
Okay, and the other question, why are they being issued as general obligation instead of TIF bonds?
The developer wanted general obligation bonds because we will pledge our right to tax, and that will go to the market. And each year, much like the library bond and the bond for the vehicles, we will have to pass what's called an abatement ordinance, which means we won't levy a property tax, but we will pay that bond through different avenue. Many of the things in the development agreement are TIF, that's the property, food and beverage tax, a sales tax, a hotel tax, and there was one more, I can't recall it right now. So there are many avenues as we move through the project. We will collect those taxes from the people who go out into the development, and we will gather those funds and pay the debt off. If at some point we do not have enough development money to pay the bond off, then it will be up to council to decide whether to borrow the money from ourselves and, get it back later. Maybe the development slowed down a little bit, or we could actually levy a property tax, or just pay for it out of our current fund balance.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Item 403-22, ordinance authorizing a budget amendment for the purchase of 1,000 North Center Street. This is for the purposes of building a park. Item 405-22, resolution approving dedication of a 0.18 acre portion of Spencer Road and a 0.85 acre portion of Spencer Road as a public right-of-way. Agenda item 406-22, resolution authorizing the approval and execution of real estate, and this is for sales agreement for the purchase of real property at McDonough and Stryker Avenue. And again, that's part of the water project. Agenda item 407-22, a resolution appropriating motor fuel tax for the 2022 arterial resurfacing contract in the amount of $2,340,535.07. Item 408-22, resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement for the lease and operation of Dooley Healthcare Field. It was brought to my attention earlier that may not have been, just before this, that contract was not available online for folks to review. If that's not the case, is that the case, or?
Yeah, I received a call as well, so will be placed on tomorrow morning, but it is also under the Stadium Committee agenda, and there's been no changes to what was discussed at the stadium.
Okay, but if there's a problem or somebody raised an issue, certainly we can, if the council wants to table that. I mean, the contract was available, but I certainly don't want people digging around for that, so that folks don't think we're trying to hide something there. So, and with that concludes my remarks.
Next is public comment.
Hey, question.
Yes, hold on a second.
Sure.
Yeah, Jim,
Yes, sir.
just go back to 406-22. Was there, and I think, Allison, there was some outreach to the community. The reason I'm not saying that, because I guess they were out there doing a surveying, and some residents in that area stopped and asked them what was going on. So they seemed to say they weren't aware that this, city was looking to purchase that property.
Yes, prior to today, this land acquisition has not been publicly discussed.
Yeah, and the reason for that is we don't want the cost spiraling out of control if somebody knows that the city is. That's why it's normally takes place in closed session when we talk about land acquisition.
Okay. So after,
Yes,
if then they can be kind of informed of what's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we'll make sure that they know what's going on.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes,
And could we have, Jim, could you have someone give us, before tomorrow's meeting, with the stadium lease, an analysis of all the revenues we took in over the course of the last lease and the expenditures we put out?
Of the last year, did you say?
The course of the last lease, which was, I think, a 5-year lease.
Okay.
What was the expenditures versus the revenues?
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, one more thing, Mayor, just to clear this up. Chris, what was the date of that stadium committee meeting offhand? It's been at least, what, 2 weeks?
Let me look, hold on.
14th of,
Was it the 14th? Okay.
Thank you.
So it has not been secret. It was out there, it was posted before when the stadium committee met, and then after that as well, when we approved it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, it's been out there for a while.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right, Councilwoman, but, you know, I know that it wasn't.
No, I just wanted to be clear, so no one thinks that we're hiding
No,
anything,
no,
because
not
I
at
did
all.
get an email as well, and that's not the case. Thank you.
Thank you.
So next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening? Seeing none, I did receive a request for closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition or conveyance pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned?
So moved.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilman Clement? Aye. Councilwoman Gavin? Aye. Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye?
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon? Aye. Motion carried.
Ma'am.